Hello, and welcome to Power Hour, the top 2013 email trends for business and how to leverage them for your success. I'm so glad you're here. My name is Mary Rose McGuire, and I'm your presenter. I am with McGuire Copywriting, and I'm a freelance copywriter and marketing specialist. I wanted to first start out by saying I am an email geek. And if there was a support group for email addicts, I'd probably belong to it. The reason is because I believe email is a commonly overlooked tool for many entrepreneurs, small businesses, and the self-employed. During this presentation, I'm going to share with you some statistics about email marketing, the trends, predictions for 2013, and how you can use this information to create your own email marketing strategy. I'll also briefly cover inbound marketing versus outbound marketing, in which email marketing plays an important role. And finally, at the end of this presentation, you should have a good idea of the steps you need to take to get your email marketing off the ground and position your brand as top of mind for your target audience. And I'll explain later what that top of mind awareness means. So first, an introduction. I don't want to spend a whole lot of time, but just to let you know, I have spent many years as a marketing communication specialist for an information security company, and in that role, I wore many hats. So I revised the website 2 times. I switched over. We had a old CRM, which again, I'll let you know what that is. But basically, I had to switch over a database to a new database. Created the email campaigns, also all the marketing slicks, white papers, special reports, user manuals, and all the copy and graphic design for the website and blog. And as I said with email, I also handled the marketing campaigns, including email and direct mail campaigns. And finally, I recorded both video and audio presentations to highlight our products and services. And before that, I was involved with digital scrapbooking, which is really graphic design, but it was a lot of fun, and it included photo editing lessons. And then in another life, as I say, I was a relationship coach for single women over 40 who were wanting to find love. And with all of those different roles, I handled all of my marketing and publicity. So I was a guest on a local radio program aimed at my target demographic, and then also a guest on our local Fox News affiliate morning show. So I love marketing, and I love to help people with both the marketing principles and also copywriting, especially copywriting. And during this presentation, I'm hoping that you're going to get a lot out of it. So when it comes to email, I'm a dedicated tester, and what is so cool about email is that you can immediately see what is working and what isn't. When you use an email service provider, they have analytics that will give you information about your email campaign. So not only can you see who opened your email, you can see what they clicked on, what was ignored, whether a particular email subject line worked well or not. You can study patterns over time to see what truly interests your target audience. And I just think that whole thing is really cool because years and years ago, it used to be the only game in town was direct mail, which direct mail still exists, but that delivered specific results and data that people could study. Now we have this information electronically, so I think that's pretty cool. When you're able to do this, you're able to truly become a valued resource for your customers. So now you're delivering solutions that matter instead of pitching ideas that you think matters to them but really doesn't. So let's get started. Is email marketing dead? Some people think it is. It's not. It's far from dead. And in 2013, it's poised to be an even more powerful marketing tool for businesses. Consider the following statistics. The DMA, and that stands for Direct Marketing Association, puts email marketing's ROI, return of investment, for 2011 at $40.56 for every $1 invested. The figure for 2012 is predicted to, quote, fall, end quote, to $39.40 when email will account, look at that number, for $67.8 billion in sales. I mean, that's just huge. A 2012 survey of consumer channel habits and preferences found 77% preferred to receive permission-based promotions via email, and look at that number, versus 6% who preferred such messages via social media. So, people, people are looking for this valuable information, and they like it to be delivered to them in email. The 2012 Marketing Channel and Engagement Benchmark survey found 63% of respondents cited email as the channel offering the best ROI. And then a survey of online marketing managers at the end of 2011 found 89.2% said email is the same or more important to their overall marketing strategy when compared to 2 years ago. In April 2011, 79% of search marketers said email had grown in importance as a source of leads. And then finally, 72% of respondents to an e-consultancy survey in early 2011 described email's ROI as excellent or good. Only organic SEO scored better. So those are some pretty impressive numbers. And like I said, I don't think it's going to be going away anytime soon, and a lot of other folks think the same thing. Hubspot, Inc., which is a marketing software as a service company worth $28 million, recently predicted that in 2013, email will continue to be an important part of the marketing mix. However, how it will be used is what will change. Marketing emails will become less batch and blast, and instead, and this is where you come in, more personalized, relevant, and targeted based on real-time data. There will be increased importance in opt-in marketing instead of opt-out marketing, and buying lists will become a less used practice. So there are people who have bought lists. Companies sometimes do this, thinking it's going to put them ahead of the game, but I want to strongly encourage you, do not buy a list. You want to build a list. You want to build a list with people who are engaged with you, who are interested in what it is you have to offer. And that is only going to happen when they opt in to your marketing instead of just grabbing some almost nameless, faceless list and try to go that route. So let's start with the top 2013 email trends for business. And the first part of this is building a list. I have a lot of people who ask me the question, how do I build a list? I don't even have a list. And so I wanted to make that our starting point. The first thing we need to address, well, is how to build a list. You need a list of email addresses, but how do you get that? Well, there are actually two ways to do this, online and offline. So offline, it's called business cards. Now, you want to gauge if your collection of business cards is stale, meaning if you have a person's business card that you met 10 years ago, don't immediately add them to your list. Because first off, you really don't know if they're even still in business, the same kind of business. You don't know if they're going to be interested in what you have to offer. So you want to be careful about that. But if you're attending networking events on a regular basis, you're going to meet folks who will give you their business card. And here's something I'd like you to do the next time someone gives you their business card. And this is important. You think that they would be a potential prospect for you and you'd like to build a relationship with them. So make sure that you think that there's going to be a relationship, a possible relationship. Say to them, thanks for your card. By the way, I share tips and strategies on, and then insert your business's focus here, with a monthly newsletter. May I add your name to my list? So when you say this, you want to keep it short and punchy. Ask it as almost an afterthought. You don't want to, have the attitude of, oh, please let me add you to my business list. Please, can I add you? Just say it with confidence and very light. You just want to just say, hey, thanks for your card. I have, an email newsletter that is a lot of help to people and, regarding marketing or, whatever it is you do. And could I add you to your list? The point is you ask for their permission to add their email to your list. I've never had anyone say no. I don't do this all the time, but the times that I've done it, I've never had anyone say no. And besides, if by chance, if you're worried like, oh, well, they're going to feel put on the spot, and of course they're going to say yes, don't worry about it, because they can always unsubscribe if they're not interested in receiving what you have to offer. But that is one way to build your list, is start with the people you already know. Ask and ask permission. That's probably the biggest part of that, asking permission. Now, online, the other way you can go to build your list, and this is by far the go-to method for people who have a website, is to offer your website visitor relevant information in the form of an ebook, a special report, a white paper, or a case study, something that is a PDF that can be quickly downloaded in exchange for them giving you their email address. And that is a really popular way to do things, and it works. So once you have their email address, you can now add them to your list. So how do you store this list? Well, there's a few ways to do this. Some people start by keeping their list as a spreadsheet. While you could do that, it's going to eventually become too large. Plus, it's going to take valuable time to constantly maintain it. So I would suggest not to do that right off the bat, and instead just go ahead and either subscribe to a CRM, and there's some economical solutions here that I'm going to talk to you about. CRMs are called Client Relationship Management Systems, and it's the equivalent of what I call a turbocharged Rolodex. So not only can you store contact information in these CRMs, you can also store conversations, tasks, and proposals. And there's a lot of features. Some of them are really pretty robust in what they offer to their customers, but the CRMs are really an excellent way for you to start collecting the names for your list. So some CRMs to consider. I currently use HighRise by 37 Signals. HighRise has a free version if you have a database of less than 250 contacts. And then once you reach that 250 point and go above, then you're going to have to start paying a monthly premium. But at any rate, HighRise is compatible with my email service provider, also known as an ESP. CRMs allow you to export your list to a spreadsheet, which you can then import into an email service provider. The other thing about CRMs is with contacts, you can tag your contact, and that means, let's say for instance that you have a list and you want to tag, a list as vendors, and then you want to tag another list as hot prospects. You can add those tags, and that's important because then later when you want to export a list, you will be able to export that list according to the tags. So there's a lot of smart ways that you can separate and segment your list, and that's one way that you can do that. Another more well-known CRM is Salesforce. It's good, has lots of features, but it is rather pricey. Many larger businesses use Salesforce, and a few small businesses also. Now, the other, I kind of laugh about this one a little bit because I know I first had the same concern, but I don't have a large list. And I don't want you to worry about whether you have a large list or not. Your list could be 10 people. It could be 25, 75, 100, 150. Don't worry that you don't have thousands and thousands of people yet. Everybody has to start somewhere. What really matters is that you have those on your list who engage with your content. So it's important to keep delivering valuable information to them. Your list will grow and it will have people who want to engage with you. The other thing, I'm going to go back one. Okay, I just wanted to make sure I didn't skip something there. I know that I've spoken with some marketers and they admit that they would much rather have a list of 100 who are constantly engaging with them than a list of like thousands and thousands where only 20 people are engaging with them. So don't worry about your list size. So number 2, who can you use for email service? Economical buys, and my favorite. So my favorite is MailChimp. It's free for up to 2,000 contacts, which is a lot, and it still gives you the basic features you need to start emailing a list. MailChimp also has excellent customer service, and they're fun. I mean, if you go to their website, you're going to see a lot of great resources. They publish a lot of PDFs that talk about email campaigns and what you can do to to have a better email campaign and to be a more effective marketer. So MailChimp works well with HighRise, and I'm able to import my HighRise database list directly into it, creating a mailing list. MailChimp also allows you to create a form for a specialized list, okay? And this is important. When we're talking about forms, you want to have on your website a form that allows people to enter their email address into the form so that they can get whatever offer that you have. So for instance, on my old website, I have a 9-part e-course for basic copywriting tips. I use the MailChimp form to collect the names of those who opted into that list. And then they're automatically sent a series of emails over the course of 2 weeks. That function is called an autoresponder. It's when you create an email and you put in a message, whatever you want to put into it, but you kind of stack these emails up, and then you can determine the frequency of how often they're going to be sent to the person who signed up. So with my email course, it's dripped out over the course of 2 weeks, but it's a wonderful way for you to establish your brand between you and your target market. Other email service providers are Constant Contact, Aweber, and Mad Mimi. I just love that name, Mad Mimi. I used Constant Contact years ago, but they all offer similar services. So for instance, they all have HTML email templates that make an email look attractive, and they're easy to create. Now I'm going to insert into this part of the presentation something that I don't want to forget about it and not mention it later. I have been testing the fancy HTML emails versus plain text looking emails. And I've been finding that people respond pretty well to the plain text emails. I used to send out, and for those of you who are already on my list, maybe you've noticed this, but I used to send out what I call the pretty HTML email that had like a banner and columns and, photograph of me, and then, there were different other parts to it. But I realized that there were some things that people just weren't responding to. And one of them was, I had a little resource area that I found helpful links, helpful services online that I thought would, resonate with my audience. But after a while, I noticed no one was clicking on those links. So this is why I'm saying that email is such a wonderful tool, because I was able to find that out really quickly and I got rid of it. So, you learn things, and even though you think that something might be a great idea, if it doesn't work, don't do it. And that's what email can do, is it can give you such great intel as to what's working and what people just aren't into. So anyway, the HTML, you can still have, it's still HTML, but it looks like it's plain text because you don't have the columns and the banners and everything around there. So there's options to create that kind of an email. So number 3, how often should you send email? And this is another area that people really kind of stress over. It's probably more often than you think. And I just wrote a blog post called The Zen of Email. The Zen of Email, I think that's the title. So you want to check out my website, look under the tag email marketing, because I did create a category for it. In it, I was talking about having a conversation with a business development manager. And he said, I'm just not sure about sending out email this, quickly, or this, so regularly, because I'm afraid people are going to unsubscribe. And I want to tell you that, yes, you are going to have people who unsubscribe, but you want you're looking for people who need what you're selling and who will engage with you. So dead emails and uninterested people you don't need. So I suggest send more than just a monthly newsletter. Once a week is a good place to start. You want to continue to send emails to people because you don't want them to forget you. So, I went through this with somebody I worked with at, my last place of employment, and she thought, it was too many. People are afraid to be seen as a pest, but I'll tell you, once a month is just not enough. I have a copywriting guru who I follow and who sends me a promotional email every Tuesday and Friday. He sent me 7 emails in November. Do I consider it spam? No. I bought one of his very helpful ebooks. I've also bought 2 of his books that are available through Amazon. And I'll most likely buy more in the future. And the reason I do this and enjoy his emails is because he's bringing me solutions. He's a credible expert who delivers quality information I can use. There are a couple of people here that I'd like to recommend that you follow. And one of them is Ben Settle and the other is Matt Fury. Find them online, sign up for their newsletters, and then pay attention to the subject lines and content. I get both of their emails. I'm on both of their lists, and their emails are great. And Ben's is his emails are in a class of itself. I mean, just he is a really funny guy, and he advocates entertaining your email list, and he does a very good job of it. He's always selling his email players newsletter, which is a newsletter, printed newsletter, that you can only order and have delivered to you through your snail mail. So his email newsletter is not available online. But the funny thing about it is that, he emails his list Monday through Friday every day. I have no idea how this guy does this. I mean, because basically that's about 20 to, maybe 24 emails a month. But he is constantly emailing. But because he makes it entertaining, I find it fascinating. And so I'm on his list. Someday I may get his email players newsletter. It's $97 a month. And no, that's not cheap, but he does offer some goodies along with that. And it's quality stuff. He's been doing this for a while and also testing for a while. So he knows what works and what doesn't, and he's always experimenting. So the thing, going back to that email guru, I didn't buy an ebook from him because of that one email. There's several emails that I received, and it's the same for just about anybody that I've bought from online. That is, I need to get to know them. And people want to get to know you. They want to see if you have answers for them. But that getting to know phase isn't going to happen by just sending one email a month. Okay. So number 4, we're going to move on to some trends here. And this is probably one of the most important trends, I think, for 2013. And that is how to laser focus your emails. So when you start to send emails and e-newsletters to your list, you're going to gather analytics. Your email service provider will give you information about who opened on your email, how many times they opened your email, and what they clicked on. This information is a tremendous help and does several things. Number 1, it tells you who is engaged with your content, in essence, your fans. Number 2, it tells you which content is popular and which isn't. This allows you to create even more great content according to your email list's preferences and also lose what isn't interesting to them. So just what I was talking about before with my own email, I realized people just weren't into it. So I lost it. And finally, number 3, you can start to segment a list according to interest. So say you're a realtor. You notice that half your list is interested in the nitty-gritty details of home inspections, legal ramifications, etc. Your other half, though, they seem to be more interested in the type of community a home is located in, the schools, the recreation opportunities nearby. So then now you can split your group and give each one a little more of what they like. So that is what segmentation can do, and that is a very powerful, powerful thing to have. So there's 5 ways to segment your list. First, one is location. So you can segment a list by city, state, or country. When I worked for my last boss, we had what was it? It was a live conference, or live one day, not really a conference. It was a one-day seminar, and we wanted to invite only those who were in our city. So I went into the CRM, and I was able then to segment the list according to city and state, and that's who we sent our email invites to. So that's really important. The other one is industry or role. So, the industry could be technology or whatever industry that you're involved with. You can segment the list to reach out to them with your solution. Also, role, you might want to hit the C-level people or marketing managers, whoever it is that you're trying to reach out to. You can segment that if you already have that role identified in your CRM. So you want to make sure that when you start creating your list, put in as much information as you can about that contact, because that's going to help you further down the line when you need to segment your list. Another way to segment your list is content interest. So we already talked a little bit about that, but notice the links that people are clicking on, notice what they're visiting, and then you can customize your emails according to that. Behavior-based segmentation is another way to segment your list. This is more web-based. People, well, I belong to a web analytics group and just recently went to a meeting, and this is what a lot of folks in marketing are doing. They analyze the behavior of the visitors to their website. So you can still connect this to your email. If you have a link, for instance, in your email that leads to a landing page or a squeeze page, and if you've connected that link to Google Analytics, then you can start to see behavioral patterns and adjust your marketing strategy accordingly. People test times, what time to send out an email, or the day of the week, and they study these things to see which is getting the best result. And finally, the fifth way you can segment your list is by brand advocates. And these are basically your fans. These could be frequent buyers, your social media followers, especially the ones who either retweet you on Twitter or share your content on Facebook. Also customers who have recommended you to others, and non-customers who have recommended you online. You want to reward these people by sending them a thank you note, or let them have an advance notice of a special product or service you're rolling out. Request feedback from them, or show them some love with a special reward like a special discount or a free ebook. I did want to mention that MailChimp did this with me, and I just found it to be such a effective tactic that I'm like, okay, I really need to copy this. And I know that it takes time to do something like this. But basically, what happened when I first started with MailChimp, I was at my last job, and I transferred a list over, and I knew there were some people on that list that I would call dead emails. Okay, they just either weren't there, they were going to be bouncing back, but I went ahead and did it, and because I wasn't sure really which ones were dead and which ones weren't. And so we did that, and well, we got a lot of bounces. And bounces mean when the email service provider is trying to send an email to somebody and it gets returned to them. So it just doesn't go through, and there could be several reasons why. But at any rate, what happened is MailChimp closed. They kind of shut down my account, and I got really upset because I thought, oh my goodness, I got this email from them, and I thought, so I contacted them, reached out, explained what was happening. I said, this is my first email. I really am going to be cleaning up this list. I'm so sorry. And they opened up my account. Well, and they were super nice about it, but I went on to Twitter and I basically just shouted their praises from the rooftop and said how nice they were to work with. Well, like a week or so later, I get a postcard in the mail, and I could not believe this, because I was like, when I got the postcard, it was kind of funny because on the front of the postcard, there's stickers, and they were little chimpanzee ninjas, and sort of like in the style of anime. It's cartoony. They look like little cartoons, but they were just the cutest things. And I turned the postcard over, and this is what it says. Hello, Mary Rose. Just a note and some stickers to say thanks for your kind words. If you ever need anything, please let us know. MailChimp. So it wasn't even signed by a person. It was just had MailChimp. And I thought, wow, that is really awesome, because that, right there, that solidified a relationship, and made me think, okay, I'm going to stay with these guys because they went the extra mile to, and plus rewarded me with these cute little ninja stickers. So that is what you can do when you segment your list. You're going to start noticing people, and that is what you want to do with that information. You want to reward them. Okay, moving on. So number 5, what kind of business you're really in? And this, some of you may think of things this way, maybe not, but you may feel like you're a videographer or a realtor or a professional organizer, but the business you're really in is the publishing business. The trend for 2013 is a continuation of producing content that gets the attention of your target audience, content that is engaging and helpful. It has to help solve a problem, okay? And I emphasize that because I have to hammer on it over and over again, because so many times entrepreneurs, small businesses, self-employed, we get so caught up in what we love doing that we forget that we have to position ourselves like that. We have to be clear about how we're helping a potential customer, prospect, whatever you want to call them. We have to position ourselves to help them solve a problem. So when you send emails or e-newsletters, remember to focus on your readers' needs and not just write about your business's offerings. So you can link to an offer, but if you have to provide information, content, but let me put it this way, I'm sorry. You can link to an offer, but you have to provide information, content that will help them. And you do this with your website, your blog, any videos or podcasts you publish, social media, and email. And this is also known as content marketing. So a good way to get started in delivering that kind of content, because some of you might be thinking, well, okay, I want to do this, but I don't even know if I have within me enough to deliver that kind of content, because it is just a voracious monster. It's like it has a bottomless stomach, people's curiosity and our need to consume information. So yes, you're going to need a little bit of help. And a good way to get started is to find the thought leaders in your industry and see what they're talking about. Sign up for a Google alert to have breaking news items about your industry delivered straight into your email inbox, and just go online to Google and just type in Google alert. And it's really great because you can put in either a topic or like even a name, like if you wanted to receive email updates every time, let's say Brad Pitt was mentioned. I mean, you could do that. But you want to have a Google alert, and that's going to really give you fresh, real, well, as close as real time as possible, news that is coming into your email inbox. Twitter just really blows me away when I think about real time, because Twitter is real time. I mean, things happen, people post about it immediately, and it's distributed like in seconds. So you want to keep in touch with all of those different ways to get that. The other way is find the online hives where your target prospect would be hanging out, and lurk on the message boards. Read what they're saying and pay close attention to their complaints. That is a powerful way to discover what bothers them and how you can present a solution to their deepest concerns. So finally, number 6, how the market is shifting and what you need to know to stay ahead of the game. This is where I'm going to be talking a little bit about inbound marketing versus outbound marketing. The way that things used to be, and it was really only outbound marketing, and that was marketing used to be all about interruption. It was about pushing your message on to customers and prospects. TV and radio, they were interrupted by commercials. Newspapers and magazines had ads. Telemarketers call it inconvenient times, and I thought, is there ever a convenient time for them after I typed that? But things have changed, and now we have what is called inbound marketing. So instead of pushing your message out, which was outbound marketing, you're pulling your prospect toward your message. And this is what is important. You're earning their attention, which takes time and trust. You're getting permission to engage with them. So the more that you put things out there, your content, the more that you're attracting people that really are interested in your message. And then you're going to get permission to engage with them. And I admit it's easier to just push a message out there, but it's not getting the response it once did. And a lot of businesses are starting to know this, starting to realize that cold calling isn't really getting the response that they used to get. Pushing messages all over, interrupting people, it just isn't getting the same result. So that trust doesn't happen with a pushed out message, okay? It happens when someone reads your blog, someone reads your social media updates, someone visits your website, they like what they see, and they download your special report, knowing that this is going to open the door to receive emails. Now, you're going to have some people every once in a while that are going to sign up just to receive your free report, and then as soon as they receive it, they're going to unsubscribe. Don't worry so much about that. Those people are they're the minority, okay? It does happen, but that's not going to be the majority of the people who sign up for your email list. People who come to your website are interested in what you have to say, and they're willing to give you a chance. So as soon as you have that chance, you want to make sure that you send them some really high quality stuff. Send them things that are really going to be helpful to them, because if they start getting junk email, they're going to unsubscribe. So you have to treat it with respect. And that is my next slide there. Once you have that trust, you have to treat it with respect. So I've been on some email lists where they just blast a blatant promotion one after the other without seeming to care if it meets my needs or not. And that's something that, it happens. But you just kind of have to keep your eyes open. And in that case, most people would opt out. I check people's Twitter feed, and I try to notice if they, engage in conversation or not. If I see someone who's on Twitter and it's constant promotion and they're never engaging with anyone else, there's never any replies. There's never any direct, or messages to other people. That's not helpful to me. So you want to be careful. So our target audience can now check up on us in a variety of ways. They are a suspicious group, and who can blame them? They've been let down by various businesses with poor customer service, substandard products and services, and those who, as they say in Texas, are all hat and no cattle. It means that some marketers talk a good game, but that's just all they are, just talk. So I love that phrase, and that is what has unfortunately happened many times to people when we talk about marketing. There's just a lack of trust. So start creating great content on your site with helpful and informative blog posts and web pages. Create an ebook or a special report that will attract your target audience. And then once you've earned their email address, treat them with respect by delivering content that will make a difference while persuading them that you've got a solution for your problem. And if you do all that, I will guarantee you're going to be way ahead of the game while your competitors are wondering why their sales numbers are weak. So there you go. That is the end of my presentation. And I'd love if you would stay in touch with me. My address on the web is www.maryrosemcguire.com. McGuire is MAGUIRE. My email address is mr@maryrosemcguire.com. My Twitter account is @mrmcguire. I have a Facebook page, so if you just do a search for the Facebook page, the link is kind of long, but it's basically facebook.com/McGuire Copywriting. And then LinkedIn, also I can be found there. So please connect with me if we're not connected on LinkedIn. I really do enjoy all of my LinkedIn contacts. I like seeing people in my LinkedIn update streams, so please do that. Thank you so much for your attention, And I do hope that you found this helpful and valuable. And if you have any questions, again, let me know. Thank you and have a great rest of your day.